Hey, good morning. Odd Musings episode number 343. My voice is still crap.
Yeah, it's a little rough, huh?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks and it's just comes and goes. And we got checked out last week and it's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
So I was on some more decongestants to help out with some of that. I think that a little bit. I stopped taking them yesterday. I felt a little too dried out. So I figured I'd just take a little break and then try them up again if I need to. But most of the coughing aspect is gone. There's
Right.
a hint of it here and there. So I think what it is from the coughing and everything else, it just strained my voice.
Right.
So
You'll get there. You'll be back to
yeah,
100% soon enough.
I know. We got Great Lakes this weekend. We talking to people, and they were like, "Are you sick?" No, I'm not sick. I might be sick, but not in that way. But
Well,
yeah.
very good.
But yeah.
So how was your week?
Yeah, it was good. A couple of days off last week, which was nice, and then worked through the weekend. It was weird. It's a holiday weekend, but it's President's Day. It's like a lot of schools in the area took like a long weekend.
Yeah, a lot of them had their winter breaks tied into this weekend.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that when I was in school. So we went to school. It felt like all the time through this. We just had spring break and then winter break, and that was it.
I don't think they even teach about President's Day anymore. We used to always talk about it. It was like you had the two different presidents, and this fell between their two birthdays, so this was to kind of honor them. And
well, yeah, because it was originally honoring George Washington, and then as time went on with Abraham Lincoln, they wanted to do that too. But you can't have, we've talked about this with holidays and how they merged several different ones, but you can't have like 100 holidays
right
a year. That's the way it used to be. I mean, if you go through history, that's what it was with, the reason that the churches consolidated certain holidays together because it was just too many times that they didn't do anything.
Yeah, Thanksgiving was like 100 holidays merged into one. And that's where the founding of Thanksgiving was.
Exactly. It's when the initial founding.
We can't have every day off. The economy needs to move.
Well, especially nowadays. I mean, we're more reliant on an economy moving and everything else, where several hundred years ago, when there was more people that kind of just lived off the land.
Yeah.
There was a different story there. So
now we live off of twerking on TikTok.
Yeah.
Instead of off the land.
Yeah.
Our whole economy is based on that. You take one EMP, we're done. No one knows how to survive anymore.
Right.
Well, where will I twerk?
I know. Well, it's I saw it when I was down at Disney. You get all these younger girls. Saw a couple actually the other day at the store. Which store was I? It wasn't Meyer. I wasn't shopping. I popped in somewhere. Oh no, I was shopping. It was Meyer. Yeah. And there's 3 girls, and they were acting like they were. When I come around the corner, they stopped what they were doing, kind of all got together. And I'm like, oh, okay, what are you guys trying to do? Try to make a stupid TikTok video or something?
Probably.
I was just like, I just kept going. I was like, whatever, this is, things. But you speak about twerking here, and then this is my twerking video.
Oh yeah.
Twerking llama. There you
go. We're doomed. We're doomed.
Yeah. Twerking llama takes over everything. Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's so funny.
But yeah, I just, it's just funny. I saw it down at Disney, and I see some online all the time about all these wannabe, and they call them all influencers. I'm going, just because they can get like 30,000 followers means nothing. Most of them are girls that barely wearing anything. So guys are just following, so hopefully see something. So that's just ridiculous. But they, it's becoming a problem where they go to these theme parks and they do stuff, and it's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, I'm doing a video for my followers. It's like, you ain't got nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how that's taken over our culture.
Yep. I mean, and actually it ties into some of the stuff we were talking about yesterday. We'll get into this today a little bit, but Best Buy no longer carrying physical media, things like that. Right. Everybody's gone to watching everything online, and it's become a TikTok, Instagram for a lot of these people. I mean, not so much YouTube. Jeez, they don't even watch that as much.
Right.
But I mean, they still get a lot of followers because all us old guys watch YouTube, because that's where I watch some of my podcasts at.
Right.
So, but we should get started here. So, Scott, I'm going to let you get started first.
All right. Well, as you know, I'm a real estate agent. Team Titans of real estate. So if you need real estate, give us a call. But I want to talk today about Crimson Shadows, our Kickstarter. It's we're at that middle stage where things always seem to plateau in the middle, and then it takes off again towards the end. So we've got 13 days to go. Our minimum goal is 3,500. We're hoping to hit higher than that, but it's a it's definitely something you'll want to get in on here. Let me post the link in the comments. Here we go. So that'll take you straight to our Kickstarter campaign, or you go to bardstone.com and you'll see all the links there as well. It's a 200-page graphic novel / trade. It takes issues 1 through 4 of our book, consolidates it into one combined issue, but it also has 28 pages of bonus story and added bonus content on top of that, concept sketches, cover art gallery, and those kind of things. So go check it out. We got all kinds of different reward tiers. You can also order through the add-on section. After you pick your reward, you can add on the back issues of various past issues that we still have inventory of, but inventories are running low, so those truly are going to be a collector's item. So if you like collecting them and bagging them, get all the different issues, bag them up, don't open them, leave them in nice mint condition, and get the graphic novel to read. So check
There
it
you go. All right. Then we also have Loringer Family Chiropractic Center PC, located in Belleville, Michigan and Dexter, Michigan. They take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital x-rays, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give a call 734-697-4244.
Sounds good.
All right. So I did watch Bad Batch today. Not going to get into it because it's just dropped today. But I really liked it. And it's good they dropped the first 3 episodes because there's a lot of things they had to cover to get this season really going to finalize the whole story that they've been working towards.
Yeah, this is the final season, so it'll all wrap up here. This show, all of the shows Filoni has done, all the different animated series. If you haven't seen them and you think, oh, I don't like cartoons, I'm telling you, if you like Star Wars, it is rich in Star Wars storytelling. All of the series. Go back, watch the Clone Wars, watch Rebels, watch Bad Batch. The Rebels and Clone Wars have their own styles. So when you switch over, you might be like, oh, I don't like this style, but it'll grow on you. And like a couple episodes in, you'll start getting used to the change in the animated style. But the storytelling is so perfect.
Yeah, and Bad Batch for style really is a blend of Clone Wars and the Rebels, because you get that mix within the Omega character looking more towards Rebelish versus them to replicate what they did in Clone Wars. So very good.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see where this storyline goes. They've done a great job, just like with George Lucas. Filoni understands the Star Wars universe is a vehicle for the storytelling. And at center, Lucas has always been about family. It was father and sons and different things like that. In Bad Batch, he created a story that, once again, family is the center focal point of the story. So I just love what he does.
Yep, there's Kevin. Hey, good morning, Kevin.
Kevin's in the house.
Yeah, I can see Kevin this weekend when him and I will be set up at the Great Lakes Comic Expo up in Macomb County, Michigan at Macomb Community College Expo Center.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out there, seeing you guys, and having breakfast Saturday morning.
Yeah, are you gonna troop for a little bit?
I think so. I'll load up the armor. I'm mainly going there for fun. I don't know.
It's gonna be a warm enough day to wear the armor.
Right, exactly. So I think I'll load up the armor. Plus, I don't troop much anymore. It's rare. So one of the requirements, you have to do at least 1 troop a year. So that'll at least knock it out for the year. So if I don't get any other events in, I'm safe.
Yeah. Well, very cool.
But yeah, it's we'll see though. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. Just see. It'll all depend how I feel. It's as I'm getting older, and you don't troop much.
Yeah.
There's a toll. Like the next day, you are sore.
Well,
from
just in case you don't troop and everybody wants to see what you look like, here's Scott as a troop leader for everybody to see. There he is right there. No,
there you
I'm
go.
kidding. Scott's not Troop Beverly Hills, but
Yeah. But
wouldn't that be a
no,
funny cosplay? Put a red wig on you,
there you
like in
go.
stormtrooper gear, and get all stormtroopers dressed up as like the scout girls. You're gonna be,
There you
Death Star Troop Beverly Hills. Yeah,
selling Death Star cookies.
yeah. Dark side, they have cookies.
That's what they say. They don't give them to the stormtroopers, though.
Uh,
They're safe for the Sith.
yes, only the Sith may have them.
Right?
So yeah, I gotta still post. I got to our table location. I just gotta post that online. So I'll get that shared on Bardstone, on Musings, and all our other sites. I'll try to get that done today at some point. And that now, I did see. I was yesterday. I was trying to think of what I watched this week, and I've watched. I've been watching MASH a lot. I won't get too much on that, but MeTV has it, and it's they have it where it's technically cropped, but the show itself was filmed what's called open matte. They shot at 35 millimeter in the 70s and 80s, and open matte means it was actually they kind of framed it to be for the screen for movies, but the open matte means it's all open. That's how we saw it on the square TV screens we had. So what they've done is they've gone and cleaned it up, and they basically brought it down. So you're missing a little bit of the top and bottom. You don't miss it because everything in the action was designed to be in that area if it was done in the theater.
Right.
Which is really good, which added a lot to that. So I've been watching that a lot, but I did watch 2 movies this past week. One is I watched Oppenheimer last night. It's a nice looking film. I personally thought it was just okay. I can see why it's winning awards. There's really no competition on a serious side movie going with that. The BAFTAs were the other weekend, and it won a ton there. Expected to sweep at the Oscars. It was all right. I think it's worth seeing once. It's not a movie I'll probably ever want to watch again. Another movie I watched once that I probably won't ever watch again, but I thought was funny, very predictable. I knew where it was going within the first 15 minutes. I knew exactly how it was going to end, but it wasn't about the end result. It was about the journey. I found funny. It's this movie called Players on Netflix. Kept popping up, so I was like, well, let me put it on because if I fall asleep because it was that night when I'm going to bed, I won't care if it sucks. But I ended up watching the whole thing. It stars Gina Rodriguez there in the bottom left, and it's her group of friends, and they've all been friends since like high school. And they run basically plays on so they can hook up with people. And it's not your typical players where they're throwing these game, crazy game like you see other stuff. It's literally like a detailed battle plan on how to score. So I found that kind of funny and hilarious. That's Damon Wayans Jr. there. He was really good in it. Gina Rodriguez is good in that. I thought it was a fun, if you're looking just for a fun little romantic comedy, it was cute. It was worth watching on Netflix. Probably wouldn't make any money in the theaters. Of course, nothing's making any money in the theaters now. So,
yeah. Regarding the theaters, I went and saw the Bob Marley one.
Yeah, that was number 1 over the weekend.
Yeah, and this is what drives me nuts about Hollywood. They're so just freaking stupid, and they live in such a bubble. They're just so incapable of just self-analyzing why they fail at everything. So, like, here's the headline. What the Bob Marley movie triumph over Madam Web signals about a shifting box office. It's not a shifting box office. Madam Web was crap. It's another woke movie with the sole intention of being woke. It wasn't about being a Spider-Verse movie. They hijacked the Spider-Verse to push their crap. And they do this over and over again. It's like, oh, look, the interest is shifting. No, put out a good Marvel movie. It's going to do amazing.
Yeah.
We're dying for a good Marvel movie. Please get this crap out of your system. You lost another $1 billion. Stop it.
Well, and this is another one in the whole line of Sony movies dealing with Spider-Man that has nothing to do with Spider-Man. I mean, they've already got geared up Kraven the Hunter and a third Venom movie, and neither one of those films are expected to have anything with Spider-Man in them again. So.
You put out Morbius. It was It was just okay at best. It just
Morbius, I actually enjoyed for what it was, but it still wasn't a Spider-Man movie, and it was better than some of the other stuff. It's better than what this Madam Web sounds like. Madam
Oh,
Web,
definitely.
I see only because I watched the trailer. I'm like, trailers sucked, and people that are online saying, "Oh, well, you haven't seen it yet. How do you know it sucks?" I'm like, I've seen enough movies. I see a trailer,
Yeah.
and it's like 1 out of 1,000 might surprise me, but usually I'm pretty much right. If I watch a trailer, and go, "This is
Yeah.
gonna suck," it sucks.
How many times have we done that where we talk about how bad a movie is going to be and then it's bad? It's like
Or even
because
worse.
you can tell. You can tell
Yeah.
when it's agenda driven.
Well, and the whole thing is,
It's
Sony, I think, did this on purpose for one reason only. It says in the Hollywood Reporter, it's talking about their entire plan for a new movie series. I think they're doing that because they had started to go a certain direction, and with everything in Marvel that's changing, especially when Deadpool comes out, that's looking like it's going to change a lot of stuff. They know that whatever direction they were going is going to fail, even if they were trying to do a decent movie, because it's going against everything that Marvel's doing. So I think it's all part of the partnership of a couple ways. I mentioned to Scott that Sony is now going to be producing the physical media for Disney, taking care of the rendering, all the stuff you see on screen for the Blu-rays, things like that, as well as the distribution and all that. That looks like more of a partnership that'll tie into everything that, because Sony still owns Spider-Man in terms of the movie production capabilities. Marvel's had to work with them to have it included what they did with the Avengers. So I think this is all just formulaic steps to one, have a loss. Okay, we'll give them Spider-Man back, and then they just go from there.
yeah. But regarding the actual Bob Marley movie, I kind of went on a rant there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's not that. I did it. Just because I'm trying to pull up a thing for the Bob Marley movie, and that was the first article that popped up, and it's just like, these people, they can't just admit nobody wants the garbage they're feeding us,
Right.
But in this case, the Bob Marley movie, I have to say, I really enjoyed it. It's well done. It's about a person's life. This is a biography type movie. Could it have been better as a standalone movie? I think so. But Bob Marley is a character, a person whose life was interesting, and he came about at a certain time. But I think there's, at least for me, a lot about his private life I didn't know. I know his music, but that's about the extent it goes. I mean, a lot of this takes place 1976 through 1978 is the bulk of the movie, where Jamaica is in pretty much civil war. I was 3 to 5 years old at that time, so I wasn't really paying attention to world politics.
Right.
I was more concerned about the Hanna-Barbera races on the
Yeah.
cartoons, the dastardly villains versus
and the what was it, the Scooby Doo All Stars?
Right.
The Olympics.
That was more important to me than Jamaica's future.
Right.
Movie wise, very well done. My only complaint is they went really authentic sounding, at least for me being a non-Jamaican. They went very heavy with the Jamaican accent. And so it's very hard to follow and understand. So they either should have put subtitles so you could follow what they're saying, or Americanize the accent a little so it's a little easier to understand. I think they went with a pure Jamaican accent, which just was so hard. Even when you started getting more used to it, you could only understand like half of what they're saying. So that's my only complaint. I think it would have made it better to throw subtitles on there. But the actor who played Bob Marley did a phenomenal job. I mean, I don't really know much about Bob Marley. Even like how he ends up passing away. I didn't even realize he passes away of cancer in real life. So I thought that was all interesting. So if you like biography type music or movies and you like this type of music, I think you'll really like this movie.
Oh, cool. I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I've liked his music over the years. Yeah, good. Theater. Well, it's because people want to see good films.
Yeah.
All this talk of, like Madam Web we mentioned, and not just to harp on the superhero aspect of it, but this is always a good example. It's, everyone's called it the superhero fatigue. No, it's bad movie fatigue. Yeah. It's, everybody has their own opinion about Barbie. I haven't seen it. I know what Scott thinks. I know other people think. Those that went and saw it and loved it, they felt it was a good movie. They kept seeing it. But these movies like a Madam Web and things like that suck. they're not supporting them because they suck, not because
Right.
it's female led or anything else. If it was only female led, then and everybody said, "Oh well, people should go see it because it's female led." Then where's all the women going to see it? They're not.
Right.
So
Oh, one other thing I want to point out about the Bob Marley movie is at the opening of the movie, there's a little they one of his sons speaks to you, the audience, to let you know that he and their family were present on set every single day to make sure it honored their father. Now,
yeah,
that can be good and that can be bad, because they can also try to skew it too much to make it favorable to him as well. But I didn't get that feeling from the movie. I think there were some parts that, his music is about peace and love, but you see some troubling times in his life too, and where
yeah,
relationships are strained in the personal side. So I don't think they try to push it too far to favoring how he looked. I think it felt like it was an authentic look at who he was.
okay.
And then at the end of the film, if you stay, they do a lot of real footage of Bob Marley in interviews, in concerts, and different things like that.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I had heard that his family was on set the whole time.
Yep.
That was one of the conditions for them to want to authorize this. Is they had to see the script, work with them. They didn't want it to be too Hollywoodized. I mean, you gotta dramatize a little bit.
Right. You're condensing, even in this case, 4 or 5 years total into 2 hours.
Right. So for them to do that, it's something they have to do, but they want to make sure they weren't, exaggerating the wrong things in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it is like I said, you have to control something like, hey, don't put that in there because that's not a favorable thing. And it's not something that should help your story.
Yeah.
The family does have to protect the image because they still make millions of dollars a year off of his music.
They definitely made the movie about his music.
Good.
But to the point where they focus so much on the music, like, I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler. I mean, the guy died in 81. He dies of cancer. And there's a spot on his toe that he just ignores. And it turns out it's skin cancer. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And then he gets to the point, I had to actually look up what happened because they just kind of bypass it. The doctors recommend amputating his toe off to save him. And he ends up deciding not to. He keeps the toe. Well, that ends up spreading through his whole body, and he ends up with cancer all throughout, and he dies in 81, I think it is.
Yeah.
They don't cover any of that. And the only mention of the toe, they mentioned that the doctor said to cut off the toe. His wife has a conversation with him, but they never show what he decided. So it's like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I think his death is an important part of his life. So can you at least clarify that? So I had to look that part up, but not that you want to make it all about him dying, but I think it would have been nice to include a little more detail on that side.
Yeah. Well, it's his life story. They probably could have done a mini series on.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot of time to detail, but just to cover the music, it's kind of like it sounds like what made Bohemian Rhapsody good. It's the highlights of Queen. It's not everything. They touched on the fact that Freddie Mercury got AIDS, HIV,
right,
and then eventually died from it, but they ended with more of a highlight of
right.
the
It
live
was about the
concert.
concert.
Yeah.
And this was the same way. It was all centered around a specific concert that he was putting on in Jamaica to bring peace between everyone. And it kind of gets disrupted. He goes away for 2 years to England, records more music, becomes a much bigger name. And then it's his return to Jamaica to kind of finish that peace concert he originally started.
Yeah.
So it's all centered around that. Those are the bookends of the movie. So I think it's very well done. I think, it's hard to tell a whole life story in one movie. And so
Right.
I think they did a good job. I really do.
Oh,
I
good.
give it like a 8.5 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10.
That's very good. I mean, especially in this day and age of the way movies have been.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah, something else I was looking online at to switch gears a little bit. It looks like Oni Press is going to bring back the EC comics. Remember the old horror comics?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something that popped up from a couple days ago. They are best known for Scott Pilgrim's one of their biggest line of comics they come out with. They've done a bunch of stuff over the years. So it sounds like they're really trying to expand out a little bit. So the first book is going to be called Epitaphs from the Abyss. It's a horror title debuting in July, followed by a sci-fi comic Cruel Universe in August. So keeping with the anthology format, they've been doing the Creep Show comics. It's on the second run now for this of the most recent run of that. That's kind of cool to see some of this stuff start to come back around, considering the fact that Bardstone helped relaunch the horror comic with Crimson Shadows, which you can get our trade right now through Kickstarter, including you can get a cover of mine or Scott's or Kevin's.
Yep.
So we've got a few different covers. So nice little promo for us, yeah. But and we'll have this weekend for that at the show. I will have some of the issues that I still have available, and I need to print up something to show my cover, and then we'll have try to get a QR code up for everybody to link right to the Kickstarter.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that'd be good. So Kevin said, "I'm excited to see the return of EC Comics, but Oni doesn't have a great track record."
Right.
Well, Oni, you could team up with Bardstone, and we'll show you the way.
Yeah, they kind of have been they've been around for a long time. I mean, Oni's been around since 1997.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've done some things. Some things don't come out. Like I said, the biggest thing they did was the Scott Pilgrim. I think that kind of helped them really get stuff out there. So, but I've heard all kinds of different stuff. But I know they don't do open submissions, so they're not looking for anything. And if you go to their website, there's really nothing on it right now. So, because this new site's under construction, probably because they're launching the new EC comic stuff. But yeah, I'll be interested to see that myself, see how well it goes, see if they can be consistent in getting them out. And I'll see how much new versus reprints are we going to see.
Right.
So
interesting.
So it should be pretty cool. And then, of course, another comic news is, we got the Fantastic Four movies got a cast now.
Yeah, it's officially announced. I have mixed feelings.
Yeah. Well, they went with Pedro. I like Pedro Pascal, but he's getting
over. Not him. He's not Reed Richards, though.
No, I think he's also being overused in a lot of stuff like this. He needs to not get so much from Mandalorian to now superhero stuff, and it's like, he gets used up too much. Nobody's going to care. They also have Vanessa Kirby, which I didn't really know who she was. I was going to look her up real quick.
Oh, she was in The Crown. She's in a lot of things. She's a good actress, but once again, I don't see her as Sue Storm.
Right. Again, a lot of this I'm gonna have to wait till I see a trailer to see what I really think.
Yeah.
But she's okay. Then Eben Moss Backrack is going to be Ben Grimm. Now I recognize him from other stuff. I've seen him around in a bunch of movies and stuff like that. I think he could probably pull that off. He played John Quincy Adams in John Adams. Yeah. He was in the Punisher TV series. Show Girls. Trying to see someone. Oh, he's in Andor. He plays Arvel Skeen. I remember in Andor. 3 episodes of that. So he's kind of a character actor that.
What's his name?
It is Eben, Ebon. Last name is Moss, Moss hyphen Backrack, Bachrach. So I recognize his face from other stuff.
Yeah, like this guy though. Ben Grimm is not. This guy's nowhere near being a Ben Grimm.
Well, you got to remember, Ben Grimm as a human was just kind of a street guy, more or less. Going into the Thing, when it does happen, he's going to probably be all CGI'd.
Well, definitely as that, but I thought Ben Grimm was kind of let's see if I can find what he looked like in the I thought he was a beefier guy, like a brawler type.
He's been portrayed a couple different ways, but yeah. Well, this guy is he's over 6 foot.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. And he does you see him skinny. I can see him bulking up a little bit. But he is from Massachusetts. So he's kind of in that region where he kind of maybe pull off some of the attitude.
Okay.
That's what he is. He's in The Bear. He plays the cousin that the guy comes into, the main character comes in to fix the place. He's the one that's been running and selling drugs. So it's that guy. That's how I know him from.
All right.
So him, we'll see. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. My biggest disappointment though is the Reed Richards. I love Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor, but he's not Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Which just goes back to my concern. Are you casting because he's good for the role or just because he's an ethnicity?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of Marvel doing this crap.
Yeah. Well, then they got for Human Torch is Joseph Quinn, aka Munson from Stranger Things. Eddie Munson.
Oh, cool.
So I like him. I think he played Eddie Munson really good. I think he can flip into that role.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Again, they're gonna have to tell a good story.
Yeah, if the story's good, it'll be fine.
It's like the Miles Teller one. That one I couldn't even get through it. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
So the original first two movies, not including the Corman one, which really isn't that bad story wise. It just looks bad because it was done very cheap just to keep the ability to make them.
Here's my concern though. I feel like they were casting for a name instead of like all the original Marvel movies here. The Phase 1 stuff. They cast people because they were right for the part.
Right.
And it was amazing. Chris Evans is Captain America. Chris Hemsworth is Thor. They didn't have to act. Their personality, they fit the role already.
Right.
I don't know if Pedro I don't know. I'm just not seeing it.
Age-wise, he's kind of in that area where he should be, but I don't know.
John Hamm would have been a better Reed Richards, or
but John Hamm, I think would have been a little too flat, to be honest with you. But I'm talking
about look-wise, like he's
look-wise, yeah,
got that look of.
Well, yeah, and Pedro's going to have to slim down a little bit because Reed Richards was also, yeah. I mean, he's not heavy, but he's also is bulkier.
Yeah, I just don't see. I see someone more. I don't know. I just don't see it. We'll see.
Yeah.
If Marvel writes this movie the way they did Phase 1, 2, and 3, it'll be fine. If they write the movie the way they did Phase 4 and 5, forget it.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. I saw that and I was like, well, they've kind of known they've been talking about Pedro for the longest time, and I don't know. It's gonna be. I mean, it comes out in 2025, so next year sometime.
Krasinski was great as Reed Richards, but the writing ruined him. They made him the dumbest man in the universe.
The whole thing was stupid with that multiverse aspect of all those characters. And Chris is gonna be good, but I don't think he wanted to do it. To be honest with you, I think he did it just that little bit.
Yeah,
but he wants to. Everything really leads to him wanting to
direct and produce.
Produce more than act. So
he wants to. His Quiet Place is going to be like 15 movies long, like the Fast and Furious series.
Yeah, they got a new one coming
out. Now an even quieter place.
Well, they're doing like Quiet Place Day 1 or something like that.
Yeah, which is that needed? It's they covered Day 1 in the first one.
Yeah, I thought so.
So like, it's not like I don't know. I don't know if it's needed. That movie. It was interesting at the time. That one, and what's the other one that's like it? The Blind Spot, or the Blindfold.
The one with Sandra Bullock.
The Birdcage,
yeah.
Like they both had the similar premises there, different but similar. Where like the senses, you had to cover your eyes, or else you would be hypnotized. And
right
here, you can't make a noise. And I was just so annoyed because the stupid premise of in a quiet world, you need deaf people to lead you. Deaf people don't know how much noise they're making, and they're very loud, actually, when you actually meet deaf people. They'll be farting and burping, not realizing anyone can even hear them.
It's like that movie Coda on Apple TV. It actually explored that because the dad and mom are deaf, the daughter or whatever, or kid wasn't. Excuse me. And the dad sits there and rips one, and it's loud and everything else. And the kid says something like, "Dad, we don't want to hear that." He goes, "I didn't hear nothing,"
right.
So, and that's what it is, stuff like that. But
the best is this account that somebody online had. Supposedly, it's true. The teacher, she teaches a deaf class.
Yeah.
A mixed class, and one of the kids farted, and people started laughing, and the kid realized, like, like, why is everyone laughing? And she said, well, they heard you fart. And then he was horrified, like, they can hear that. Like it never occurred to him people could hear him doing that.
Right. So I mean, that's the. I found a trailer for that day one. Let's watch that and see what this actually looks like because it's got different actors in it from the original two movies.
Yes.
It's got Munson from Stranger Things in it.
There you go.
Yeah.
The part I don't like about movies like this is these aliens are just like these savage wild creatures. So like how did they do interstellar space to get to Earth? Like unless there's like a higher intelligent alien and this is like their weapon that they're sending down to like kind of wipe everyone out before they come down.
Well, see, I can see that, but it's been used. That's been used in a bunch of stuff, so it's nothing new on that aspect.
No, I know, but how did these creatures develop space flight and get over to Earth and like it doesn't even make any logical sense that these beings that are so primal would be producing interstellar space.
Well, they came through. I mean, show it. It's like that's supposed to say, oh, they just came through like as their almost like meteors or something like that. It's like I agree. I think the premise of why how they got there, that should be what day one is. Like, oh, hey, there's something up there. It looks like a ship. And then also they bombard us with the aliens to wipe us out. Yeah,
and maybe they do cover that and they're just not showing it in the trailer.
Probably not. I think what we saw was the beginning. We'll see like the couple of people and then a little more backstory on Lupita Nyong'o's character and then the other guy, and then they'll merge them all together and then
I guess they all die. They probably all die at the end or something.
Probably, or it follows a different path, so it doesn't follow the original family that we saw in the first two movies. The first movie was fine. The second one was, This one here, I'm like, I don't really need to see it. I mean, we already know what happens because in the first two movies, we see that most of the world is wiped out because people just can't shut their mouths.
When the first one came out, like I remember them posting like little not Easter eggs, but little facts in it. Like when they go into an abandoned party store to find supplies, like the bags of chips are all still there because nobody wants those because they make too much noise.
Right.
So like all the bags of chips are still left on the shelves, but everything else is gone.
Well, and that's the whole thing. It's I don't know. Like I said, I agree with you on the whole. Everybody has to be quiet. It has to be a deaf person that gets to do it. It's like, no, they wouldn't understand because they can't hear things, so they would never hear anybody coming. And if they stepped on something, made a noise, they wouldn't know it.
Right. It would make sense needing to learn sign language. That part makes sense.
Yes.
But that's the only extent to that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like they're overdoing it. The first one was a cool, hey, this is different. Second one, like you said, like, did they really need that? Third one is like, really? I don't know. I'd rather John Krasinski give us a bonus season of The Office than that.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I think that, maybe it's because they made so much money. That's why these keep coming out. But we don't need to, unless they're doing something to show how they can wipe out these aliens.
yeah.
At this point now, it doesn't matter. So,
Right.
Mom, whatever. Move on, guys. What do we move on for?
Maybe she's telling them to move on. Move on from The Quiet Place.
Okay. Well,
maybe the next one will be The Louder Place.
Yeah. Well, that comes out this summer. I don't think it's going to do very well. Because around the time it's coming out, I would rather go see Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me 4. Because those come out around the same time. But really, movies coming out, upcoming ones, a lot of sequels. We talked about this last week. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming out in May. Mm-hmm. Saw a trailer for that. Looked okay. I mean, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's been done too much.
Yeah.
And then
they got the Fall Guy coming out. I'm kind of looking. If I'm looking for a movie to go to, I'll go see that one.
Right.
I'm not going to worry if I miss it. What do you think of that? If the Imaginary Friends with Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, they've been playing that trailer a lot in the theater, at least.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's find that here. Here we go.
There was a TV cartoon series, Something's House of Imaginary Friends.
Yeah, that was with Blue, and
yeah. This kind of makes me think it feels like this is a live action version of that cartoon.
Okay, that was a good show.
It was fun. Ashley used to always watch it, so I would watch it with her.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this up here and.
Hi.
Well, looky.
She is the perfect fit. I promise you. She was about to.
What are you doing? Don't do this. No. No.
Hi. Oh, God. This is just so exciting.
What is happening?
Well, that's a perfectly understandable question given
I'm an if. Get it? Imaginary friend. Our kids grew up. So we need new ones. You could save all of us.
All of who? And don't say ifs.
Let him say it, or I think his head may actually explode.
Fine.
Thank you.
You ready for this? There's no telling who's behind that door today.
We have to help them.
Yes, we do.
I'm not gonna ask you again. Put some pants on. You're freaking everyone out.
Starting to see why I live alone.
Tree!
What kind of a kid creates an invisible if? Don't look him in the eye.
Which one?
You know damn well which one.
Thanks for doing this. It really means a whole lot.
It looks
all right. I want to say, yeah, that feels very much like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends,
doesn't it?
And the main character of Imaginary Friend was called Blue, which is hilarious.
Right.
I'm wondering. That's funny. I wonder if it was what if you watched it, or is it like reimagining it? So
didn't that one have one of them? It was a giant foot coming down too. One of
yeah.
them, and it was, all you ever saw was the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ashley used to love that. Foster's Home for Imaginary. Wasn't it once they lost their kid, they went there to live because they had nowhere else to be or something?
Yeah, and the main kid didn't want to give up his imaginary friend, but he was forced to by his parents because like, you're too old to have an imaginary friend, you know.
Yeah.
And, yeah, this is interesting. I think it looks good. I want to go see it. But definitely has a lot of feels of that Foster's Home for Imaginary
Yeah.
Friends. So that was on Cartoon Network. That one actually, the story for Imaginary Friends, the cartoon, the series ran a full course. It wasn't just like vignettes of series of stuff. It actually had an ending.
I don't remember the ending.
I don't remember exactly because it's been a while. But I remember it was they basically had kind of it was very smartly done, but enough where kids would enjoy it. But if you're an adult watching it, you realize there's a lot of story going on there.
Yeah. There was like an older sister too, right? Tall, skinny, dark hair girl who was the older sister to Foster.
That was Francis who helped work at the place. So Craig McCracken was the main guy on that. Sure, I got a page here. So
Let's see. It's been so long since I thought about this.
yeah, here's what I Google on that. So, but yeah, you can watch it on Hulu, some other places, stuff like that. It's actually a really good show.
It was fun. We liked it.
But yeah, Blue was the main character, the blue guy right here that you see there.
Yeah.
And so the other one called Blue is, I'm like, okay, it's not blue, but you know, so it's kind of interesting on that. So
yeah, so there's that. Let's see. We said Fall Guy. I'm trying to think what other trailer. Oh, the Ghostbuster trailer showed last night. Looking forward to that. It's the same trailer that they've been playing, but
right.
Looking forward to that one. Let's see. Trying to see what else is coming out really soon.
Yeah, there's a few movies this year coming out. Definitely next month. Looking forward to Ghostbusters. The new couple trailers they've dropped look really good. I like the fact that it's a new villain. And the latest thing I heard was that the classic Ghostbuster actors and characters aren't just cameos; they're actually an integral part of the story.
Right.
So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Dune Part 2 coming out. I don't like Dune. I just can't like it. I've tried. I want to.
Yeah. Well, it is one of those sci-fi things that you either like it or you don't. I don't think there's any middle ground because
it's probably like Blade Runner, same thing.
I like Blade Runner, the original. I didn't care for the remake. I felt like it was too much of them trying to redo the first one, but not as good a story. And then Dune, I remember the 80s version movie. I like that. The Sci-Fi Channel miniseries they did in the late 90s, early 2000s was really good because they did two of them, Dune and Children Dune, that was done really well. I liked the first movie. I saw it at home because it came out during the time of COVID. So I watched it here. Second one comes out in theater. We'll see. It's a long movie, so it's like almost 3 hours. So go see it. I have to really plan for that.
Go ahead.
I think it looks good, but again, that's if you like the Dune movies.
In about 3 weeks, March 15th, there's a movie coming out. It's gotten little. I've not heard of it. I just happened to see a commercial, a trailer for it online today. It's called One Life. It's in March 15th. Anthony Hopkins is in it. You might recall there was a video where they invited this guy to a TV. There was a TV show, and he didn't realize he was going to be honored in it. And during the Holocaust, he saved all these kids.
Oh, yeah.
Filled the audience with all the people who were alive because of him, with them and their children and their grandchildren. And then they say it, and he looks back, and everybody is standing whose life he is there because of him. They're doing a movie about that guy and what he went through. And
well, let's watch the trailer.
Yeah,
here we go.
30 seconds to on air.
Okay, and you are just here.
Good night. Take Father back.
Now, an extraordinary story about a young man who many years ago visited Prague. What he found there were thousands of refugees at the mercy of imminent invasion.
Do you ever think about the children and what happened to them?
I bet you got some stories.
That's really not about me.
We are working to evacuate these children by train to safety in Britain.
Why are you doing this, Mr. Winton?
Because I may be able to do something about it. I must.
Go down.
Nikki, you must know we cannot save them all. You have to forgive yourself that.
I started, sir. I have to finish it.
We cannot let these people down.
It is incredible what you achieved.
We're doing as much as we can.
I have a lot of faith in ordinary people.
Because I'm an ordinary person.
Save one life, save the world.
Forgive me, but how many children are we speaking about? Can I ask, is there anyone in the audience tonight who owes their life to Nicholas Winton?
That says January 1st. So they obviously moved it back, but
Well, if that was January 1st in Britain, though.
maybe.
So,
It says March 15th on the movie phone site.
okay.
But,
As probably it was released in Britain on January 1st. So it's going to come here on, March 15th, USA. So, definitely be worth seeing. That looks really good.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I like it's like Schindler's List. It's one you don't necessarily go watch a lot of, but it's done very well. Tells us a good story. And I like stories like this.
Yeah.
So,
And it honors something, a real life thing. And, people, it's so cool, like with Schindler's and with this one and other types of movie, how one person really can make a huge difference.
yeah.
And the ripple effect that, like in this case, you see the ripple effect through time, how many people fill that audience that are because of him.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
He lived to be 106.
Wow.
He died in 2015. He was born in 1909.
Wow. I didn't realize he lived that to 106.
Yeah. Yeah. His wife died in 1999. He lived another 16 years. They had 3 children. I was just pulled up the wiki page.
Yeah.
He served in the Royal Air Force. So, yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So, very cool.
Yeah. Good stuff's coming up.
Yeah. So, hey, so next week we'll cover a little bit of the Bad Batch. We get to the first 3 episodes a little bit and see what else we're going to talk about. It. We'll cover a little Great Lakes, see where we're at on the Kickstarter. We got 2 more weeks to go, guys. So definitely check out the Kickstarter. You going to share the link again?
Yeah, let me get in there. Let me go there. Kickstarter. There. All right, there's the Kickstarter link going into the comments there. So click over there and back it. And we have tons of product there. We have enamel pins, trading cards. We have back issues. We have the graphic novels, digital copies. We have different styles of T-shirts. So there's a lot to choose from over there. So check it out.
Yep. And until then, we'll see you all next week. Bye.